Hey, yo, it's your boy Sam Duke,
It's your man, Tell McKill.
It's your boy Warren P.
and you are listening to another great episode of You
You
Good,
good, bruh?
Bruh?
I got it right.
Yes, sir. We on point now, man. We in the money today, man. Welcome to another great show. If you haven't done so already, go ahead. Go to either our YouTube page or Facebook page, like, share, subscribe. Let people know that you're listening to this and sharing. You know what we're here talking about and having these conversations.
That's
And
right. Sharing is caring.
exactly. You good, bruh. We consider ourselves a safe space for men to express their emotions. But the second part of our mission statement is to improve relationships. And so today we're gonna have another topic. We're talking about relationships. We're discussing gender roles, what they look like, if they're still a thing out here. Is that something that we're doing out here? There's a video that came up a couple weeks ago. It kind of hit the internet, and it was a guy I call a fake Kevin Samuels because he in my opinion was trying to channel Kevin Samuels, but he just he don't have the it.
He don't have it.
You ever met somebody that just don't have it? He just don't have it. And so he was asking this guy about gender roles, and so I would like to share that with you guys before we get into the conversation. So here we go.
What whole thing?
Why don't the women want to cook and clean for the men anymore?
Because they're tired, bro. They have to go to work every day. That's not hard.
Nigga said
they're tired.
Yeah, they gotta go to work every day. Just like
what are they tired of?
Of working. It's not hard. Man shouldn't even be like, I don't even understand the question. Like, they're tired. Aren't you tired when you get home from work?
They're working every day, so they're tired. That's why I don't want to cook or clean.
Yeah. You think I want to work 8 hours and then come home and then cook and clean? I mean, I do it because I have to. I have 5 children. But yeah, I mean,
do you have a woman right now?
What's that?
Do you have a woman right now?
I've been married for over 20 years.
Okay. Does your wife work?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the roles in a marriage?
What are you talking about, roles? Everybody does what they have to do.
Okay, what do you do? What does she do?
For a living?
No, in the house for the marriage. What do you guys do? What are your roles?
Role? I don't understand the question. She does what needs to be done that day if she has time to do it, and if she doesn't, I do it. I do what needs to be done that day, and if I don't have time to do it, she does it. But roles, I don't know what
how do you not know what roles are in a marriage? You're married for 20 years. You guys don't have
any roles?
Those don't exist.
Because those don't exist. Like, I'm not white. I'm not a white what? Man. I don't.
What are you talking about? I'm not white. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, because you're trying to live up to like some white supremacist ideal of
what are you talking
family.
about?
I don't.
Nobody said nothing about no supremacy.
Teamwork makes the dream work, friend. We a team. Ain't no roles.
What do you mean there ain't no roles?
It's not that hard to understand. You said, why do women not want to cook and clean? They're tired. They have to go to work.
Okay.
I answered that question.
Okay.
You said, what are your roles? I said, we're a team.
If there's something that needs to be built in the house, who builds it? You or your wife?
Depends on what it is.
What do you mean depends on what it is?
Like if it's a toy for the
kids. Dude said, look, it depends on what it is.
What do you mean? Everything. What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I watched that. I was just like, yo, this dude actually. I think he thought he was coming off strong on Buddy, but it just seemed like Buddy that had been married a long time really sunned him a little bit.
It's hard to me.
He's just like, it was like, what do you mean? What roles? Aren't you? He's like, aren't you tired when you finish working? It was the pause at the end of that. He was like,
what can I say?
Yeah, what can I say? Like, nigga, you know you're tired when you.
Let's see. He doesn't have a woman. Oh, you got a woman?
Kids
yeah,
too?
I got 5 kids, 20 years plus. What?
So I think the question here is, I think that there's a boogeyman that's been following us throughout time. I think like since the old, there's an old age boogeyman that I think people are trying to live up to, and it's these gender roles. It's these old, my grandpa went to work, my grandma never had to pay a bill. My, when my grandpa came home for it.
These are white people you're talking about.
These are white people and some blacks. I've
Very
heard
few
some,
blacks.
I've heard some blacks say that. Some black people say, my grandpa never, my mama never paid a mortgage. I hear that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so
yeah, because she couldn't, because she can't get it in her name.
I mean, all right. This nigga Mikhail spitting.
Come to the stage.
What I'm saying is there's clearly was an older adage when it comes to gender roles.
Yeah.
That it's an era of it, whether it was real or not, whether it was the reality of the situations that people were in or not. It's clear that there is a subset of men and women, because I want to be clear. There are women that feel that they have certain roles in a relationship, and there's some women that won't touch a trash can. They won't they won't pay a mortgage. You know what I'm saying? I pay household bills only. I don't pay no bills for the house. I don't pay no house note. That's what I've heard from a lot of women. And so there is an era of roles from back in the day. And I would like to ask you guys, what y'all feel about that?
I'll go first.
Go ahead. For me,
one, I'm gonna be talking out both sides of my mouth with this one. I do feel that certain roles are necessary within every relationship. Now, where I differ from the woman's supposed to do this, man's supposed to do that, is for each relationship, the roles are based on what is best for the team. That's how I go about it. Like what may work for Mikhail and his wife may not work for my wife and I. Same thing with Sam. So what is best for your situation? I mean, basic, general man stuff that I feel I should do, like going back to the question. If something needs to be built, I feel like I'm supposed to build it. With the trash, when you said some women don't touch the trash. The only time my wife has taken the trash out was when I was down with COVID, since we've been staying together. Because I feel in my mind that a woman shouldn't be taking the trash out. Now, is that ignorant? Whatever. So be it. I just feel like a woman shouldn't be taking the trash out if there is a man in the house. Hell, when I see old ladies taking the trash out, it bothers me because it's like, damn, where's some, because my neighborhood, like some teenager or a parent or grandparent say, hey, go grab that lady's trash and stuff like that to help her out. I come with that sense of community. But I also grew up in a community to whereas the gender roles where man pays bills, woman works, but the man's job brings in more money than hers. So the financial stress is more on him.
So you are of the belief that if you split in bills, then y'all roommates.
I'm not. When people say that, I say, fuck it, call me a roommate. But fuck it, call me a roommate. Because you know what? When women say that to me, I always shoot back with this. Well, until I can claim you on my taxes, I consider you a dependent. So I can be a roommate all day. You can be a dependent to a man. So here we have it. Both of them, you take it how you want it. But I do feel if both of us work, both of us, let's say we split the bills, I think there are shared responsibilities in the household. I heavily disagree with a man that splits bills 50-50 and then expects his woman to come home, cook, clean, and do all the traditional shit. I'm one of those people that believe, all right, we not going to play the game of 1 foot in, one foot out when we talking about traditional roles. Either we going with it all the way or we're not doing it at all. Now, small little things here and there, like I'm never going to tell my wife, hey, you need to be cooking and cleaning for me every day. Like, no, that's something we do together. That's something when we start having kids, boy or girl, I want them to see that you want to have a partner that can carry the load on days, like say certain days of the week. Her schedule is very, very busy. I make sure that whenever she's done, she either has a meal prepared for that I cooked, or I go out and grab her something to eat.
Oh,
just
so
because
you domesticated.
Yeah, hey, I tell you, hey, I enjoy being domesticated. Okay, I'm washed, I'm chilling, but if it comes to some man shit, to whereas like say somebody try to run up in the house, they got to see me, baby. Ain't no, oh man, well we're equals in this aspect. Nah, I'm the man. I'm supposed to step up. I'm supposed to protect. Now, some people may have an issue.
I got to ask you a question now.
Yeah,
because your trigger finger is no stronger than hers.
I agree.
So,
I hit the gym.
Did what I'm saying. If somebody busting in your house, they ain't there to fight. So,
no, you're right.
And you're talking to somebody that believes in Second Amendment. So, my question is, why not have a kill zone instead of it being a point man? You feel me? Like she could bust down that hallway too, bro. Like
I'm not saying she isn't capable of doing those things.
I'm saying why isn't that the strategy? Right? Why isn't that the strategy?
Because I
push
mean,
her back.
I don't know what it is for other people's household, but how I was groomed, like, hey, don't nothing happen to my family that doesn't happen to me first within my control.
Not saying run. I'm saying why not incorporate and have the same team attitude. If I'm clearing a room, it's better to have more than one gun clearing a room. Like you go in, you go left, she goes right. You know, y'all clear the room. And if there's more than one person in there,
but you also have to understand,
y'all dust them up.
You know how I said earlier about like knowing your partner and what works best for y'all. Hey, love my wife to death, but I'm not gonna say, hey, baby, I trust you enough to hold me down if some triggers need to be pulled.
Oh, damn, bro.
That just ain't damn. I'm just hold up. Wait. Hey, some people, not even women, like I know some cats I roll with, to whereas if you were to throw the gun in their hand, they be fumbling and all that other stuff, end up shooting you. So I know my personnel. Like, so I'm not going to put her in that position now, unless she needed to be. Like, say if some movie shit we fighting and the gun slide her way, yeah, I expect her to pick that thing up.
So do you get it? That's what I'm saying. Like planning it is getting trained and all this other stuff. Like
I agree with you, but you can plan for everything. Sometimes it just ain't in the person.
Oh,
I see. In Mikhail's on Mikhail's point, I actually feel the same way. It's like, okay, this is our house. Yes, I'm going to be front and center when somebody comes into our house trying to, trying to intrude or whatever the case may be. But I got you one too. You know what I'm saying? I got one, you got one too. We're gonna protect this house, and I expect you to put some in there.
Yeah, put some lid down. Yeah, especially if I go down, what's we just gonna let it happen? No,
I mean that's different. But
no, it ain't. This is what we talk about.
We talk about gender roles. We talk about what men do.
Hey, sometimes it's needed. Okay, not in everything, but sometimes it's needed.
Well, Warren, I'm gonna say this
with small things.
Well, I think I don't.
You asking her to lift the couch?
Yeah, my wife has moved couches.
I've moved couches with my wife.
And I'll be honest with you, my wife has moved the couch, not in my presence. Like I'll come out this office and my whole living room will be completely switched around. Dining room table, everything.
Let me rephrase that question. If it's a one-person job to move a couch, pick it up, move it to the side, you asking her to do it or you automatically doing it yourself?
This is the answer to that question, if you will. If I'm moving it, I'm moving it. If she's moving it, she doesn't call me to. Yeah, she doesn't call me to do it. It's not because I'm not capable. That's her mindset, and that's what I was kind of getting to about gender roles.
I just think this nowadays, man, it's supposed to be a team mindset. Like, because there's very rare. Like let's put it this way. Most of us are the the rule and not the exception. A lot of us are not rich. We don't have, we don't have the money to pay for all the services for people to do whatever we want them to do. And so there's gonna be times where your girl's gonna have to step up and do things that normally you would consider a guy to do. I'm gonna give you guys an example of something I had to do the other day. I had to run, and the HOA sent us a letter talking about something. We had to pressure wash our driveway. Now, no man in his right mind wants his, because it's a public thing. Like literally pressure washing your driveway, you got to do that outside in front of everybody. And so I went and got the pressure washer, everything. And at the time I had the pressure wash, something came up. I had to go. I told my wife, I was like, you don't have to finish. She's like, nah, you about to go, handle some business. I'm gonna have this shit pressure wash when you get back. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, I appreciate her for that. I'm not saying that she should have had to do it, but at the same time, I feel like that's why our relationship works better, because it's not like she's always waiting on me to do the labor intensive things around the house. Now, if it's something she's incapable of doing, when I got her when we get home, but she sat outside for 4 hours and pressure washed things. She even had men in the neighborhood stop and say, like, why are you doing this? Like, where your husband at? And she was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but that's just how our household is set up. Like when I tell you, me and my wife are a team, we a team. There's not, bro, there ain't shit that she do that I can't do. There's nothing that I do that she can't do, for the most part, outside of, some physical things.
Yeah.
But,
but I understand once, because see, this is, I'm gonna be transparent. So, we bought an older house and we're renovating it. And so the kids' bathroom tank was running, so it's time to change out the insides. Well, lo and behold, I go and do that. I go buy the stuff from Home Depot. I had the cash, boom, boom, fix it. Yay, Dad. The other morning, our toilet goes haywire. Like it just loud and shit. And I had every intention of, buying the stuff, installing the stuff. And before I knew it, Courtney had hit Amazon, shipped it to the house. And lo and behold, I come in the house from, I forgot what I was doing, but I had come home and she was under the goddamn toilet.
Oh, wow.
Installing the damn system. I did feel some kind of way.
You felt some type of way, right? You're just like,
my thing was, she didn't, number one, I didn't even know she had ordered it, let alone know that's what the Amazon package was.
Yeah.
And then to come home and you ain't like ask me, I know how to do it. So it's not an ability thing.
Yeah.
But I choose my battles, right? I'm not gonna sit there and argue about the goddamn toilet. But at some point, I know what Warren is talking about. Like I get that pull that we add value this way. We can't have kids, we can't breastfeed. So all we really have is protect and put shit together.
Yeah.
And anytime women cross over, we got the P's. And when y'all cross over those lines, we like, ho, that's my shit. Yeah. Give me the trash. Like who demands trash?
Man, we do. Like, give me that bag. Like,
give me that trash.
And so, okay, in that, I guess this is my question to you guys, because I think it's fair to say that we don't believe in all gender roles. So what do we keep and what do we leave? Like what gender roles is like, okay, we're gonna hold on to that. It seems like trash is one. It seems like putting shit together is another. It seems as if Warren said building things is another. But my wife love to build everything.
I was about to say
my wife put shit together in a heartbeat.
No, like some women like there are some women who really like do-it-yourself projects, who like doing housework. So I ain't saying like, oh no, a woman should never do that. I'm not saying
yeah. But you're just saying like you would like that type of stuff to lean your way.
Yeah, this happens like when we start having kids, like, oh, your daddy got that. Not saying she can't do it.
I think it's dead. I really think it's dead. The only place it's valid is with children. Um, and it's from a superhero perspective.
Okay.
The mother tends to nurture the child and kind of teach love, and then the father teaches protection and lowers the anxiety of the child when he's around. Like they immediately feel safe. Like they'll go. You ever notice like when the dad's around, kids will jump off the highest shit.
Yeah, they,
Yes.
it gets higher and higher when the
Right.
girl goes like jumping off the top bunk. It's like,
Right.
damn.
Yeah, right. It's dad. It's like I feel because dad's here. I got it. That is something that is innate, and I think that that's something that we bring to the table. What's unique about us versus what's unique about women. But in every arm of the military, women, and this is like the most dangerous, hardest job there is, and there's a woman in every role now.
Really?
So it's kind of hard to say what they can't, or not what they can't, but that's what the gender role was based on.
Yeah.
Women can't do this, they shouldn't fight bears, and da 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 da.
Yeah.
But then you sit there and watch Prey, on Netflix.
She was doing her thing.
She was doing her thing. You know what I mean? Hard. And I feel like that's always been the case. And some people were, some women were cool not being upfront. But then in our community, both the men and women worked, and they came home and they took care of the kids. When I grew up, my dad cooked. I mean, he
Really?
famous with the vegetables. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I say is, and it's interesting because when you start thinking about it, you go around, a lot of people's fathers cook really well.
Yeah.
You start to think it was like grill masters and all this other stuff.
I'm talking about stove to the grill. Like he knew, and he know how to cook like stews and all type like stuff that really takes culinary skill. So that means he's practiced it. So I think it's just this in our community, to Homeboy's point in the clip.
Yeah.
It's like there's this European perspective on child rearing. I mean, on family and child rearing that is not really associated with real life for us.
With black people.
Black
right?
people. Yeah.
And so my question is, when did that infiltration come? Like when did their idea of the
civil rights,
the white man?
I got a hotel bag for that one, but I will not. I got a hotel bag for that one, but I will not.
I mean, it's funny because
sponsors one day.
It just seems as if there was at one point it was all right. We're fine with living in the house together. We're cool with being partners, doing whatever we need to do, and then now it's like everybody. I mean, not everybody because not us, but when you see on social media, it's like a battle. You get what I'm saying? It's like women are like cut the check, men, and the thing about what's crazy about it, if you look at the numbers, wages have not gone up. Life is way more expensive than what it used to be. But now it seems as if what is being demanded of men is like almost unattainable. It's like it's almost it's not even realistic anymore.
I don't think it ever was realistic because there was a study about wealth that came out. It's old now, but it was an economic study, and they were saying that white people got married from college, and they would buy a house with one income, and if the spouse was working, that income went into a bag somewhere to compound interest, whatever. Yeah. And they would stay in that house for 5 years at least, and they would either sell it for the equity or rent it out for passive income. And this is early in their 20s. So we're talking about 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
Right. We're still single at 25. I mean, in these streets, blowing cash, working hard. We bottle service, we hookah bar, we this, that, another. By the time we get to the 30s, then we're feeling this pressure. Now we bought a house, by the way. Everybody bought it. He got a house, she got a house. Everybody got a house. But what is happening is that you can't really put money in a bag with compound interest because all of your money is going to the upkeep and care of that house and your other bills, the student loans or whatever. And by the time you find a mate, The white couple has grown in wealth exponentially,
Yeah. Over the
and that
years,
over
they
the
just
years,
they just banking.
banking, stacking
Yeah.
it, and then we finally find each other. We got to sell one of the houses. Well, who gonna do that? Because I worked hard for mine. Well, I work for
Yeah.
my shit too. So
Yeah.
that becomes the first riff. Like our riff is finance
It's finances
Oh, yeah.
early. Yeah.
early, and it was never a strategy to build together. It was always let me get it. I'm that generation of the glass ceiling doesn't exist anymore, so I'm about to go get this paper, and ultimately we became competitors.
Wow.
I'm
Oh,
with
yo,
you there.
you in your bag right now, bro.
So that's why, and this whole time the white couple is them bought the second or third house now, and they just got all this wealth. That's why you go to places like Brookhaven and you're like, God damn, that couple ain't even 24, 27. I mean, they ain't even close to 30, and they got 2.4 kids, a dog,
they got a $600,000
house, and you just like, what the fuck?
And the motherfuckers is a teacher and a goddamn
Right.
construction worker. It's like, oh yeah, I do construction and I'm a teacher.
No, teacher, a paralegal. Like,
yeah, you just like tell them, like, hold up,
How y'all
motherfucker.
affording this? Yeah.
So
Checking their pockets.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they're
the
starting
culture,
earlier.
they're
Yeah,
starting early, and their culture is one salary pays for the house. So their gender roles tend to fall in line with that concept. The man's paying for the house, to Warren's point. And so at the end of the day, we are not adapting the strategies early enough in life to kind of adopt the gender roles. Like you can't adopt a get money mindset with gender role adoption too. Like those are not congruent. You know what I mean? They just don't match. And we have to re-swizzle and rethink what is really a quality life. Because what I'm hearing from people is that men are lonely, women are lonely.
Yeah.
The children are missing a parent because when they're not with one, they're missing the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they would just love to see them together, but that's not gonna happen because mom and dad can't agree on finances, or dad feels some type of way because mama make more money than him. And all he got to live on is he got to cling to is taking out the trash.
And that's what I was going to next, bro. It's like, is the pressure of not being, what you should be? Because it's like, okay, if there's a subset of black men that actually feel as if I have to be at this level before I can start a family, before I can start a relationship, that insecurity can kill the relationship before it even start.
Yeah.
It's
the fault. It's the biggest lie ever that men tell themselves is that, well, wait, I got to wait till I get my bag right before I want to look at being a wife, or looking to have a wife or have children.
But it's the pressure of that gender role. It's the
that's
pressure.
What I'm saying.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the biggest lie. I mean, if you just look around, there's way more evidence that you can raise a child and have a good family without all of that, all these bells and whistles. When you look at the study of divorce, the more income somebody has, the higher the divorce rate.
For real?
The lower the income, the divorce rate drops. So that couple has identified that we need each other. We are a team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus being independent and feeling like, hey, this is my shit. Why are you trying to manage my money? I make this money. It's supposed to be a team, not an individuals living together.
It's the dependence that keep them together. It's the I need you, you need me that keep us rocking.
Right. And making each other feel needed and wanted to is another thing. Because I mean, what you alluded to, Mikhail, about thinking you had to have everything right. Like I was notorious for that. I remember dating one lady. She was real cool, great person. And I kept telling her, I was like, look, you're a great woman. You'll make a great wife to somebody someday. But I mean, I'm not there.
Just not for you, huh?
Not I.
You're not gonna be a great wife.
I felt like I felt like I ain't make enough money to, to start a family and do all that other shit. Like I wasn't. I mean, hell, even
I mean, I'm
before
pretty sure looking back, I mean, you got Whitney. So I'm saying like,
yeah. I was just about to
Yeah.
allude to that.
yeah,
Like
it's
even
like
with
it worked out.
me proposing to Whitney after some years, you get that when I started getting pressure from cats who wasn't even family, like, hey man, so what you doing there? And I
Like,
hadn't
yo,
even
what's going
realized
on
like
there? Yeah.
how much time had went by.
Damn.
And I had got the job with my company. I was secure. Other things were popping off, and it was like I knew I wanted to marry her before then, but it was like when my finances were secure, I was like, okay, it's time. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
The
because
dude,
I don't
the
even know
dude
if we
at
still be
Now I'm gonna-
married
now-
if I hadn't had that confidence.
Wait,
Now I'm
Juan
gonna
said
ask
the
you.
dude at Quick Trip was like, yo, man, when you
What
really
the-
go get married?
What the
I was
fuck?
like, I
Listen,
want
random.
that. Like, I know I want to marry her. Like,
that-
shit, dog. I just got to get
that-
some shit in order first.
Let's talk about that though. Like, do you feel like that getting that thing in order had slowed you down a little bit? Like, you could y'all have been further along if you would have made that leap a little bit sooner?
Earlier,
A little bit earlier.
The only reason why I would say no is because the issue with me was internal. Like, she could have been light years ahead of me, but I wasn't. Pardon me. I wasn't accepting of my role or where I was at. I mean, there's a strong possibility. Yeah, we could have went further, be at a further pace than we are right now. But for me and who I was at that time, like how I was groomed, how I was raised, I felt as if I would be not only doing a disservice to myself, but more so a disservice to her by saying, hey, let's get married. And I knew like, I know we're never perfect, but at least being, consistent,
Let me ask
being
you a question.
okay. And
Let me
I would
ask
have
you a
felt
question.
fucked up for putting her in a situation with me like that.
What if let's just say you were in that position and you had asked, what would her answer have been?
I
What do you
mean,
think her answer would have been? I guess that's the best way to ask it.
yes, but I do think she would have had some pause just because it's like, all right, Warren, you're not settled yet. Like
Are
you're
you
still,
projecting?
huh?
Are you
I mean, I
projecting?
possibly
I-
could be projecting.
think
I'm
that's
not
what I'm
saying
about to
I
say,
am, but it's
like-
like, you
Because if a
haven't
woman says
necessarily
yes, if a
found
woman
most
says
of yourself yet.
nah, if a woman says yes, that's it. Like I'm not, and let me qualify that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that women are not aware of risks that are out here in the world.
Mhm.
If she's saying yes, she already has bought into, I don't want to say your potential because that's being vilified now, but she's already bought into who you're becoming.
Yeah.
And she could see building with you versus waiting for you to stack this create this entity that we still haven't been able to identify.
Mhm.
That says men get married right now. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it her being able to say yes is kind of let's go. I'm
Yeah.
signing up for this.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like you're kind of projecting because if you feel like she said yes,
Now,
it's yes.
what I will say, and I think just to enhance Mikhail's point about the whole the stress and the strain of that financial piece of the gender roles and why we don't get married at that point, I'm gonna just be real with you. We got to get rid of that as a community. Like, if you find the woman that you want to be with, you love her, you want to be with her, you have some of the means. You don't have to be perfect and ready to, you don't have to be, oh, I'm ready to buy a house tomorrow.
Yeah.
Man, the reality is, Mikhail said a word that I feel like people really, really have to understand. He said exponential. When you are with someone, your finances grow exponentially. The way you guys can support one another, everything can grow exponentially. But the only way to get that exponential growth is time. And the more you delay your time, in my opinion, you delaying your growth. And that's that's just the reality. And that's just financially, it's emotionally, that's all the leads.
Right, that you
Yeah.
can come up with.
that you could come up with, that you could potentially have been growing at during that time. And I think that's that's the fucked up part about the gender
Right.
role specifically. That
It
idea,
retards the ability for you to grow into the better person that you could become.
it does, man. Because it's like, okay, you go 2 years, you paying bills by yourself when you could have been, y'all could have moved in. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people don't believe in that, but I do. You know,
I'm shocked.
I go
bro,
beyond that. Go beyond that. Like
Yeah.
skills, just literally the skills.
yeah,
When I say better person, I mean the fact that my wife and I are plumbers. What does that say about the potential in the house? Like we can get some
Yeah.
shit done.
Yeah.
that's
Like
real.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's like you start bridging into these other. I'm not saying that I don't relate to what men are saying that they have reservation. I'm saying that me watching my wife do that gave me another level of respect and knowing that she is not just some old you know, because that's a gender thing, that's a misogynistic thing that women are just come save me.
Yeah,
And
come
I'm
make it happen. Like, yeah,
and the thing is I'm okay with her if she needed to be saved. Like I'm cool to step up.
Mhm.
But if she doesn't, I'm gonna stand beside her. You know what I mean? And like I tell you earlier, if she busting, I'm gonna bust back too. Like I'm buzzing too. And that is a stronger image than me standing in front and her behind.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a unified front. And you know, chest out, let's do this. Because honestly, the way our accounts are set up here in America, Black America, I mean, we really can't afford to just be these islands of individuality, and we just dropping
Yeah.
these kids off. Like you know that shit, we got to stop doing that.
man. Say that one more time, man. We can't be islands of individuality.
Yeah,
It's
We
time
need
for
each other.
we got to have that community, that family mindset.
yeah,
It's important, man, because we losing, man. We losing. You know, you go look at the numbers, man. It's looking bad out here. I tell people, go take a look at the census if you like. You know, go take a look. You're going to be shocked. I don't have to preach to you. Go look. We're not building families. We're not keeping families. We're not building wealth. And of course, there's socioeconomic factors. But I tell everybody, and everybody knows this: the key to wealth is marriage. That's the
Yeah.
entryway. That's the entryway.
yeah.
If you're not a
Being
entertainer
single
athlete.
is let's say this: being single is the equivalent of a dystopian society. Being married is the equivalent, and I should say a healthy marriage. Like you'll just throw shit out there. Healthy relationships
Yeah.
is more akin to a utopian society. When you look at our homelands, and I mean before we were Europeanized or Westernized, that is definitely the traditional stuff. I'm trying to think of the countries where Europe did not influence Africa currently. That's a very utopian approach. Like they seem to be very akin to roles, and it's not gender roles. It's about what has to be done.
Yeah.
Who's able-bodied and who can do it. Like, and so I'm looking forward to seeing films with Viola Davis.
Oh
God.
yeah, I don't know. Woman King.
Woman King.
Woman King. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm familiar with reading. Like it's not just the Zulu warrior type of deal. Like women could kill you just as easily as the men.
And man, we've been in hoods to whereas if you want to infiltrate a man or get something done, you send a woman to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That happens. Women are used in that manner a lot.
I don't see, and that's the thing. I think women recognize that. That's why you have like the toxic side is the ones that scheme, right?
Yeah.
But
Seduce
at the end
and
of the
scheme.
day, yeah, seduce and scheme.
Oh, you watched that too, huh?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Well, I'm on. Shout out Issa Rae.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of like the culprit. Like when you look at even Western society, most wars were fought about women, and what were these women really doing? You know what I mean? Were they manipulating and trying to get their way in power, or was
Most
this?
likely,
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think it's just about who had the biggest dick. Like, I just don't see wars being about that. I see it about being about finances and power.
Land,
Okay,
which is
so
finances.
all right, so to wrap this up, all right, if you have only one, like if all other gender roles are going to be equal, you have one gender role that you only, that's the only man role that you can keep. What is it and why? What's the one that you like? I'm not getting rid of this. I'm gonna do this as a man. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Oh, first line of defense, easily.
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
And-
that's the easy one. I mean, but I just think that there's a smarter way to do that. If you're gonna defend, you
It's a
got to make sure.
holi-
Yeah, it's a
We can't
holistic
believe it's a
approach.
I mean, we
holistic
can treat
way about
we
that.
can treat it as
Yeah.
a team, but like
Yeah.
I'm the first line of defense.
Okay. Mikhail, what about you, man?
Shit, I guess it's taking out the trash.
Take it out of the trash.
That was, I mean, that was gonna be my second one.
for me, it's driving on road trips. I'm gonna drive.
I didn't even think about that. Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna drive, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, I
Fuck
do.
that. We'll
yeah.
split that drive.
I'm gonna whip on the road trip. That's
I will say
my-
this: the first leg of a trip is gonna be
Okay.
me.
Yeah,
But for the most part, but my hard fast rule, but the money got to be right. Is if the trip is over 5 hours, we fly.
oh, that's
Like,
me. That's me.
Right.
It's-
So 1 to 5, that's me driving.
yeah.
You know, unless I done got sick or something like that. Like, it has to be something that has gotten in the way. But I'm driving. So
Yeah,
I'm
me-
with Sam. I'm with Sam on that.
Yeah, man.
Y'all
I'm
got it.
I'm
We
gonna
gonna split
drive,
that
man.
thing right on driving.
But yeah, man. I mean, I think we got a really good, interesting perspective on gender roles and the role that it plays in our lives, and kind of the role that it's kind of pushing back on society. I just hope that people can see this more as a team thing, even single people out here, because we're all married. But for the single people out here, I think it's best to start looking at your interactions as more team interactions than just,
A partner.
like Mikhail said, individuals on our own island. You know,
Mhm.
it's time to look at each other more from a how we can build perspective. Mikhail, you sent me that video earlier this week about building, but how we can build earlier on when we meeting one another, and maybe we'll have better outcomes. How we can be more of a team. You know, I think that's my biggest takeaway from this conversation.
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, for me, I think swapping skills would be the most advantageous thing and builds a unity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a, if you think we could talk about the line of defense, if we special ops, you need to have some skills that's unique, but at the same time, we need to have shared skills so that we can operate more efficiently. I think that financially, because the snapshot is what it is, it really needs, if finance is the leading cause to divorce or breakups, then maybe we need to address what, the elephant in the room. And I think it is gender roles. I think it is about what your girls think or what your boys think versus what y'all think. Like, marriage is supposed to have fidelity, and fidelity is not a concept of you not cheating on your wife or you not cheating on your husband. Fidelity is loyalty to the family. And when you
Right.
break that loyalty, that's infidelity. And it just finance is a tool. It should not be the rule. And that's just, my perspective on it. Save the family.
My thing kind of adds into that. It's communication and having a clear game plan on what you want or what your partner wants. Like, okay, for example, Whitney and I will have disagreements, but we'll be speaking about reaching goal. And then we have to go further in our communication to be like, oh shit, we're actually saying the same thing. We just think about getting there in a different way. That's one thing. Clear communication about like what where you want to go. What is the game plan for your family? What does your family stand for? Like, I know your family isn't a business, but if somebody were to describe your family or what your family's about, just by seeing how you act, your wife acts, your kids act, they have a great understanding of what you're about. And those things have to be communicated in most cases early on, or when you get closer to taking those next steps. So y'all are continuing. And to add on to that, when you communicate it, as time goes on, do a refresher. Like, hey, are we still in alignment? Is there anything that has changed with what you wanted or what I wanted? And if that has changed, how has it changed? What can we do to, keep it consistent, but switch up a little bit on the overall, goal or objective of the family? And then two, adding value. Like, taking the time to ask somebody, man or woman, like, hey, what's up in your life? Where do you need assistance? Where do you need help? Where are you lacking? Where are you strong at? Understanding those things, so you have a clear area of where you need to help them develop and where they can help you develop, so you both are adding value and becoming better throughout the relationship.
This man communicating in the relationship, that's the woman's role. Nigga, what's wrong with you? I'm fucking with you, man.
Like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's-
ain't no successful team without communication.
That's facts.
That's real, man. What I'm saying is, when you start talking about roles, that's what it sounds like. It starts to sound silly as fuck. It's like you communicating like a bitch. Anyway,
It does sound crazy. That's why I
it's-
was fucking with it.
it sounds crazy as hell. But anyway, man, for more conversations like these, man, you guys follow us at You Good Bruh Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, You Good Bruh Pod on
Do
Twitter.
it.
Yes, sir. Do it now. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is where this will be housed. If you got on here late, you can go back. It'll be up in just a second. Please share this with your friends. Let them know that there are men out here having positive conversations about real shit.
High emotional intelligence.
That's the opposite of my Twitter.
High EQ. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, man, with that being said, man, look, I'm Sam Dupe and I am good.
Hey, I'm telling Mikhail that I am good.
I'm Warren P and I'm good.
And just like that, man, we're out. Take care.
Bro.